Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to HoN OMGTour 2019 finals, where he's seeing his team farming you against Team Backdoor Protocol, and I'm joined here by John, aka Easy Full Clan. John, how are you doing, man, today?
I'm doing great. I've been looking forward to this pretty much most of the week, and I'm happy it's here, and I'm excited to cast this and see what these teams can do.
Yeah, man, we're all are excited for this, and starting off with the banning phase is Cthulhu, first hero, and going on with the Kinesis. From Imba Boy is Cthulhu and Magnus, and from Snark is Kinesis. I mean, we've seen that Imba is a really, really good Kinesis player, to be honest, and we've seen that Cthulhu is a very, very tough hero in the suicide or offlane, especially Magnus as well.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was who played. They had excuse me, Backdoor Protocol had a very good Cthulhu
It
fawn in their
was,
series against what
yeah,
that team
against
like
actually the team Farang, and it was
Team Farang. Thank
Kontas.
you.
It was Konatas, or I don't know how to pronounce his name that right, but yeah, he was a really,
Yeah.
really good Cthulhu player, that's for sure. And they banned Electrician as well, so they really
Mhm.
don't want Imba to have that suicide advantage. And he had Lodestone. I mean, from judging on Imba, to be honest, I feel like Electrician or Kinesis is way more deadly with Imba than Lodestone.
Yeah, I mean, I think pretty much Imba's a very capable player, no matter what hero you give him.
Yeah.
you know, But yeah, they definitely respect the Kinesis pick by him as well, so they just went ahead and banned it.
Yep,
And it
for
makes sense
sure.
that Boy responded with the Magnus ban right after that because
Mm,
the Kinesis Magnus becomes a lot stronger.
mm.
And,
Yeah.
and then yeah, Electrician is just Electrician is just one of those heroes that so many uses.
Yeah,
He's
for
just got
sure.
such a great kit. It's so hard to deal with. It can be effective with minimal gold. Um, so yeah, these bans for these two teams absolutely make sense. But
And Bubbles, by the way.
mhm.
The last
Yeah,
time Backdoor Protocol played Bubbles, this was insane. I think it was 0. Was it?
yeah, it was 0 on the bubbles.
He was a
He did
beast.
really well that game. Yeah,
Yeah, he was a beast that
he's
game.
a big
And
player. And, I remember specifically we were commenting on his usage of the Soul Trap,
mm,
and was getting a lot of work done with it.
yeah.
And it makes sense here as well because Shell Surf is another one of those Qs that a Kinesis would love to steal. No Kinesis, Bubbles is even better. So I love it.
Yeah, and Deadwood, the hero that I'm always so sad to see because honestly, for me personally, Deadwood, all of the players that played Deadwood so far, they're good, but for me, they're not the best Deadwood I've seen, sort of thing, you know?
Well, I mean, Deadwood is Deadwood's one of those heroes, and I've commented on it before. He's just one of those heroes that pretty much all you need is a blink, and then
Mm,
you can fork an
yeah,
extra 1100 gold out for
Alex,
a Lex, and
Alexa,
like
and the big,
yeah, so like 3300 gold, you've got your core items, and you're going to be doing a lot of damage to one target through the very important BKB. And we've seen this before. I think I want to say that they run a Luna and Deadwood together. They've done it at least once since I've
mm,
spectated them. But these are,
yeah,
I imagine that Deadwood is going straight to Bilbo. Aluna is going to be played by Baby Muffin.
yeah.
Their draft is very familiar.
Babe
So,
Muffin's really good with Aluna, to be honest, judging by the
oh
last game.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, she was landing some nice red snipes. I remember
yeah.
being very impressed. So, I'm looking forward to that kind of
By the
playing
way,
in. And,
Oogie is banned by Snark.
yeah, and
Yeah.
with good reason.
Mm,
I don't know if they've been paying attention to Tessie stream. I'm sure they paid attention to the last series. Obviously, they won, 2-0 with Oogie,
Oogie, yeah.
but Tessie's been playing Oogie on stream as well, and so I think they know that they need to respect that, and it's a very hard hero to deal with, and so they just go ahead and get rid of it. I
Mm,
think it's a wise
yeah,
move.
yeah.
But the Rally and Rhapsody pick, I'm liking those two picks as well, um, coming out from Backdoor Protocol. They're just two strong heroes in their own right, and yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about that. I mean, they just work well together in most lineups. So, but what do you think about the rest of these bands? We got Midas, Gladiator, and Poly are out.
I
Um,
mean, well, let's have a look here. I mean, Poliwag is a super annoying hero, and I think the Maha is a really, really good Poliwag player. I don't know if you know that, but
mhm.
she's a really
Oh
good
yeah,
Poly player.
yeah. Um, against gosh, Namsayan, they ran the Poliwag Oogie together actually, and it was
Mm,
super great.
yeah.
I mentioned it at the time that Oogie lacks the pushing power as a carry, and then Poliwag supplements that with the ward drop. So it's just it's an excellent little combo, and I'm not surprised at all to see them ban both those heroes in the first game of the series.
Hmm.
And actually, yeah, I mean these heroes, or excuse me, these players, these teams know each other. We got rid of Gladiator and Kanadis. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name correctly, but he was playing the Cthulhu, and he was also playing the Gladiator. I believe that was him in two of those games that they won against Team Farang. So yeah, I mean they're banning specific heroes that are that these players like
Yeah,
to
I'm
play
really good
and are
with, yeah.
showing up with.
Mm.
So they're trying to make them get a little bit out of their comfort zone, I think. But coming from just I mean these are the finalists in this tourney. These are good players. They're going to have tricks up their sleeves. They're going to have a
Mm.
wide array of heroes that they can play. But just to finish up the bans, we have Mage Bane and Moon Queen. I'm not those are two just hyper farming heroes, and I'm not surprised at all to see those banned. I think
No, Test is really good with Moon Queen. I'm not sure about Crown,
absolutely.
but he's really good Moon Queen player for sure.
Mhm. I'm sure he's a super capable Mage Bane player, as is I think Teasing Eli is the carry player for Backdoor Protocol. But you know, yeah, those two heroes are just. I think I've seen them banned every single game that I've been paying attention to. So, but yeah, Succubus and Geomancer. What about these? I mean, Succubus is just one of those heroes that it's kind of one of those auto win heroes, auto win mid heroes, basically. Hero's just very difficult to deal with in a 1v1.
Yeah,
She's got that true damage HP swap. Is kind of
yeah,
like what I like to call it.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so she's going to be putting a lot of pressure on whoever they decide to send mid. I imagine it's probably Bubbles. Seems like it'd be a Bubbles mid. But they have interesting lineup here. They've got what looks to me, you know, well, now that I take a second look at Hellborn's draft, I don't think that's a rally second support. I think that's probably that might be a farming rally in a tri lane, being supported by Geo and Rhapsody. So triple stun, two AOE stuns plus staccato from Rhapsody with the dance floor. That's gonna be a dangerous tri lane.
For sure,
Um,
yeah.
so
We'll see how
that's
it goes with
that's
Harmony.
that's pending if they run it that way. I mean, I think they have the opportunity to run a dual lane if they want, but I think they're my judgment is that Legion is definitely going to be running a tri lane, so they're probably going to counter tri lane, especially because Lodestone is kind of hard to deal with 2v1 anyway. Hero's just so meaty, slippery and high HP pool.
Yeah, Lodestone is a very, very tough hero for sure. Like, especially with his new Q when it gives him movement speed now, it makes him a really, really
Yeah,
strong hero, especially with his alt now. Like, you don't really necessarily need a PK to get to anyone you need, because with your Q range and the movement speed it gives you, it's just a little bit too much.
yeah, I
And
agree with you. That's
Riptide will.
absolutely right.
Are we gonna see a Riptide carry?
We are going to see
Oh.
Riptide carry.
I'm
Wow,
interested.
okay.
I'm interested.
It's a very mobile carry, hard
Yeah.
to pin down. So it looks like it's a great pick here, especially against Deadwood. I really like it
Yeah.
because his passive is giving him 60 agility.
It's too
Yeah,
much.
that's
Yeah,
just a
for
lot
sure.
of armor. It's a lot of armor for Deadwood to have to burst through. I think it's 7 agility is 1 armor, so he's getting about 8 armor once he gets to level 7 if he goes full passive. So that's going to be great dealing with Deadwood. And then I like the Bensington pick too. It gives if they're running tri-lane Bensington and Luna Deadwood, it gives them a lot of presence. Both these tri-lanes have a lot of kill potential going into them. So it's definitely going to be entertaining to see, and we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled wherever they send these 3 heroes for each team. But you know, just jumping right into the game, we actually both of these support players poured it out, and they're going to see each other. So Aluna laid a oh man,
Ooh.
Nick, you got to forgive me. I'm not sure how to pronounce these players' names, but I'm
Nitcher.
just going to say Nitchter.
Nishter, sorry.
Nishter. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
Nishter doing his homework and knows that Baby Muffin likes to pour it out. So getting a quick counter ward off, and all 5 heroes for the Hellborn are in the Legion jungle right now. So, you know, Legion's gonna have to play passively. They know that the party is here, and they're playing in the dark right now. You know, and an easy 150 gold coming out for Rhapsody. So that was great. You know, Hellborn is already with a fairly decisive advantage. We'll see how they ride it out going into you know, the laning phase and everything.
We'll see how it goes for them. And what are they gonna lane here? Is it Rally Geomancer?
I think it's Rally Geomancer Rhapsody.
Try lane.
I think, yeah, I think so. That's what I'm thinking. Riptide mid, it looks like, and Bubbles top. Yeah, Riptide, he's a carry, but you know, he's a very capable solo laner. He's got a lot of last hitting potential with the passive and everything. We'll see how, you know, he's able to do against a Succubus. I mean, Succubus is pretty rough for any hero to deal with.
Yeah, it's one of the strongest solo heroes in the game for sure.
Mm-hmm. Rally looking like he wants to get a creep pull here at the bottom lane, but no, they're just kind of taking command of this jungle here. But yeah, okay, oh, already a stun onto Bensington. Gets followed up by Geo. Rhapsody going to try and throw out some staccato, doesn't get in range. Rally is actually already in trouble. He gets gripped by Deadwood, and Bloodlust coming out on Rally. And Geomancer's taking pressure too. But it doesn't look like they're going to be able to finish him off. So wow, what a quick conversion for a kill in favor of farming you.
Well, that was very, very greedy to be honest, but I guess
was,
they just didn't know that there are 3, maybe.
No, I think they knew it, but yeah, it was just, it seemed very hyper aggressive. As all, you know, it was, I don't even know if a creep was slain before that gank attempt came out. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
But they're getting lane control here, and they still have a very powerful lane up. So with the extra space away from the tower, Hellborn might be able to get a return kill. And Succubus already doing a little bit of counter warding herself in the mid lane. Takes out the rune ward from Hellborn. So both teams are going to be playing a bit in the dark. Could see some very key rotations if things don't work out in the tri lane. That might put some pressure on to either of these teams. But Succubus taking some heat in the mid lane. Actually, it's both of them really are. But she's now, so Riptide's going to have a little easier time in the mid lane with 0 mana Succubus, but she just gets her bottle, so. And it's a quick bottle. That's going to be hard to deal with for Riptide. Riptide picks up an invis, but he's just going to go straight back to mid with it, it looks like. Uh-oh, looks like we might have action at the bot lane. Yeah, Bensington stuns Rally. Rally compels himself out. The grip is going to miss, and Deadwood is going to go for, excuse me, Geomancer's going to stun Bensington. And just, you know, trading some harass there. Not going to be able to line up a kill.
This bot lane is going in an awkward way so far.
It is, yeah. Hellborn's probably going to want to play a little pass. Oh, actually, Rally's going to get jumped inside of a big creep wave. He's going to get gripped by Deadwood and fall. So, yeah, I was actually just about to comment on the fact that they needed to be careful. They needed to wait for these creeps to get on the tower. It's some very important experience that they wanted to have before the next engagement. You can see that the Hellborn heroes have a pretty distinct level advantage. Excuse me, not the Hellborn heroes, the Legion heroes have a level advantage.
I mean, honestly, I'm not sure if they should be losing early game because looking at the Legion, like Sarah Bensington, Deadwood, Aluna, like Succubus, it's just too much for them. Right? It's too much physical and magical in the same time. So, I mean, meanwhile, Bubbles is really struggling at top lane.
Yeah, it looks like Hellborn's having trouble in all their lanes. Riptide is, he's sitting at low HP. Finally gets his bottle. The next rune spawn did spawn top. He's going to go grab it, so that's going to help him out tremendously. See what it is. It's double damage, so he might be able to make a play with that, or at least just own control of the lane for the duration of a DD. But Deadwood at the bot lane gets jumped by Geo. Staccato coming out. Bensington misses the stun. Rally's probably going to try and line up a compel here. No, he's. I'm actually not sure when compel was used. It was on cooldown. But yeah, a return kill coming out in favor of the Hellborn. Much needed. But Deadwood, I was gonna say we have a port. Geomancer looks like he's porting. Where is he going? He's going mid, so he's making Geomancer. Keep your eye on him.
Yeah.
Looks like he's walking towards top. Might try to set up a kill on Lodestone or something like that. Actually, it looks like he's flanking mid, so we need to be aware of that.
I think they're
Succubus has her
gonna
ulti.
Yeah.
Looks like that, yeah. Looks like they knew the timing, and they could actually kill her.
Riptide's
the
gonna
TP is
jump
gonna
away before like she can use her W on him after her ulti.
Yeah,
so.
I think they want him to use the cooldown though.
And a pause.
That's what I'm thinking their plan is here. They want Succubus to feel confident against Riptide because Riptide has a pretty low HP pool, and she knows that with maybe 1 or 2 auto attacks before the ulti starts, she can, get him, just kill him outright. So she's gonna have to be really careful here if she decides to try and go for a play on Riptide.
Geomancer is shown, by the way. Like right now, Dimaha can see that Geomancer. So
yeah, I was actually wondering that as well. If the gank attempt was ruined here, but we'll see.
Succubus with 400 GPM. So he's having a great time. So Bensington though on 200, but load on 330. So
yeah, but and Legion's doing great. I mean, look at the GPM on all of Hellborn. Every hero sub 200. Not a single hero on Legion's on Hellborn rather seems to be having a good time this game. So the laning phase isn't going so hot, so we're going to have to see some rotations that are going to bring them back into the game. And the Geomancer rotation just didn't work out. He's getting ulted by Succubus, and Aluna's there to connect a power throw, and Geomancer just out of position to cancel that Succubus ulti. So Succubus takes down Riptide, and Legion just extends their gold and XP lead a little bit.
The lifeline of a functioning army.
Rally gets jumped by Bensington. Deadwood misses the grip. Riptide ported down to the bot lane. He has the double damage activated. They're looking for a kill. They really are trying to set something up. Riptide's going to be spotted by Aluna, so the jig is up. Riptide is going to go on Deadwood. Deadwood gets compelled. Deadwood going to fall. Riptide taking a lot of heat right now. He's very low HP. They are going to end up killing him. So 1-for-1 exchange there, and again, it just comes out in the Legion's favor. It's not what they want to see. They don't want to trade their mid for the second support Deadwood for sure.
A bad thing with Riptide, if he didn't level up his ulti, by the way, is... Wait a second, some action going on top? No, okay. When you don't upgrade your ulti with Deadwood... Sorry, Riptide.
Geomancer gets slept by Succubus in the mid lane, and
they won't be able to kill him.
Yeah, Geomancer is able to dig away.
So, with Riptide, if you don't level up your ulti, you would have to use your E or your W to get your E form up and running, and your E and W range is not that much, so you will have to sacrifice a lot if you don't upgrade your ulti, so kind of questionable here.
Yeah, Undertow does spawn a pool of water at the location that Riptide jumps to, so I was thinking,
Yeah.
or I'm sure they were hoping that they were able to connect the kill before he was able to move far from the puddle of water, given that they
Yeah.
have a pretty strong stun combo.
Not only that, but his ulti gives it I think not movement speed, it's damage and is it damage and movement speed?
Yeah, I'm reading it. It is. Yeah, every hero gets a percentage of Riptide's agility and damage
Yeah.
and bonus movement speed, so it's a really strong ulti.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played him. I really forgot. But yeah, like it's a really, really good spell for your team. It's like a Warby's battle cry. So
Yeah, it's Legion's got the advantage here in this laning phase, and as we start to exit it, they have a really, really strong ganking lineup. I think even if Hellborn is a little bit behind in a 5v5 situation, they still have the advantage in my eyes. But meanwhile, Geomancer is stalking over to Lodestone. Lodestone doesn't seem to know, so do they have the damage to drop this level 8 Lodestone, though? He's got nearly 1100 HP.
I doubt it, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be very difficult to pull off. But they're thinking about it, and Brown is making his way up there, so maybe they're just playing this really, really patiently and hoping to just get a 3-man gank. Geomancer is going to get spotted by Lodestone, so the gank is not going to end up being successful. Lodestone knows to play passively now.
Sir Bensington Sir Bensington is definitely coming back to the game right now on 280 GPM.
Oh yeah, and relatively speaking, he's not behind at all.
Yeah.
He's far ahead of anybody on the Legion.
Honestly,
On the Hellborn rather.
to be honest, after he picked Sir Bensington, I don't see
Okay,
a reason
Bubbles is
why
getting
they
ulted
stopped
by
him.
Succubus here. It looks like Bubbles is going to end up dying to Lodestone
Yeah.
and Succubus, yeah. No chance there.
So, a lot of fear is going on Angry Testy. And his
lot of
farming
fear.
ability. No, they like really fear his farming abilities.
Yeah, okay, Rally gets jumped on by Bensington. Grasped by Deadwood. Lots of stuns coming out from Aluna and Deadwood, but okay. They do finish off Succubus, who missed it. Yeah,
Geomancer,
Succubus dies to
Riptide, yeah.
Geo and Riptide, so a much needed kill. But, man, these, Hellborn is really struggling to crack 200 GPM on any hero. This is looking very, very tough for them. And I also just wanted to comment on the nice synergy between a Succubus ulti plus the global Bensington ult. Okay, Lodestone is taking a lot of heat from Geo. He gets ultied by Geo. He pops the ulti himself, so he's going to be tanky, but he's about to lose all that armor. Tries to make a kill on Bubbles. It's successful, but he does end up falling. So, Lodestone making a nice play there to get something out of the 3-man gank that came his way.
Yeah, the Bubbles wanted to take cover with that jump, that stunned Lodestone, but he barely missed it though, unfortunately. So I was saying, like, the focus on Angry Testy is a little bit too much, to be honest with you. Because right now they all went triple lane to bots, right, with Rally, Geomancer, and Rhapsody, and they didn't get anything out of it, because in the end, Sir Bensington is farming, because they gotta leave him, because he got a team. So, honestly, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't... Like, why just not have a carry? Because they got a Sir Bensington, right? A Riptide would be able to kill a Sir Bensington, especially late game, with his ulti and his W. The hero is too much. The more agility... Riptide is basically a Shadow Blade. The more agility you get, the more beneficial your ulti is gonna be, the more damage you're gonna deal.
Rhapsody gets
Riptide.
slept by Succubus. What's going to happen to Rhapsody here? Geomancer is stalking in, so he's going to try and cancel Succubus's action. Bensington's going to jump and finish off Rhapsody, but Succubus is very, very low. She's going to end up being finished off. Bubbles gets stunned and red throwed and just everything else from Deadwood and Lodestone. My gosh.
Yeah.
Bubbles with no chance there. So I was just going to comment, though, based off of what you're saying, they definitely were afraid of Angry Testy farming. They didn't want to allow him to do it, but they just also struggled in the tri lane. The 3v3 didn't go their way, and then the other 2 lanes also didn't seem to go their way, which is pretty heavily evidenced by the fact when you look at the GPM score for across both teams. So they were just put in a tight spot in all 3 lanes, and it's just incredibly difficult to overcome that. They basically had to abandon Testy to make something happen in the other 2 lanes. They couldn't reliably win their 3v3. Succubus is ulting Bubbles. Bubbles is going to fall very quickly to Lodestone and Succubus there. But as I was just going to say, okay, Deadwood is taking heat in the mid lane from Rally. He's going to get compelled. Geomancer, the Seismic Clam comes out. Geomancer and Rally both get caught by a Deadwood grip. Rally's going to get stunned by Bensington. The Rhapsody ulti is barely out of range. So again, you know, just when you look at every time a Hellborn hero dies, or a Legion hero dies, it seems like 2 Hellborn heroes die for it. Succubus finishes off Geomancer with Bensington in the mid lane. Rhapsody's going to fall to Lodestone and Luna and Bensington, and you know, they just have such a strong lineup right now for getting these clean ganks off. You really have to hand it to them. They're playing it very well.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that team Backdoor Protocol have a chance to come back this game?
You know, it's HoN. You can never say never until that shrine dies.
Yeah.
Or maybe at least until Mega Creeps are there. But you know, people have came back from that too. So
There's a chance.
But yeah, there's a chance, but it's looking very, very difficult for them to dig themselves out of this hole right now.
So, Striders and Bubbles, by the way, they're really planning to gank here. I'm pretty positive. Like, Bubbles, Rhapsody, and Geomancer really want to just be everywhere.
Well, they recognize that they just don't have, you know, Legion has such a big gold advantage right now. They can't try to play safely and outfarm them, right? Testy is going to have a, he's already got a sustainer. He's going to have Cleaver, you know, within the next 5 minutes or so. I would imagine if he keeps farming as well as he is. But we have a lot of heroes moving down into the bot lane for Hellborn. Riptide's going to jump onto Aluna, but Aluna is going to be able to walk away from it. Geomancer is going to land a stun on Aluna. The Lodestone is powering up the ulti. How many heroes are going to get hit by this? It looks like a 3-man smorgasbord there for Lodestone. And Lodestone just lands a huge ulti. And those Hellborn heroes just got annihilated very quickly. And in fact, Lodestone's not done. He's going to catch Geomancer as well, but Geomancer is able to dig out. He has Soul Trap on him. He's going to have to pop Power Supply to live.
I think he's fine, actually.
Okay, whew, that was close. He was gambling there, I think.
It's looking really tough for Backdoor Protocol right now.
Yeah, this is not the spot they were looking for, I'm sure. Lodestone has the blink now. Really key items coming out pretty early for Legion. You know, Ruined Axe finished on Testy much earlier than I just mentioned. Lodestone's got the PK. Void Talisman coming out on Succubus, and Aluna very soon to a tablet. So just so much more gold in favor of the Legion. They've got a 10k plus. Yep, Lodestone is going to ulti onto Rally. He's going to connect, and then he wasn't able to escape the Deadwood follow-up either. They're going to try and make a play on the Lodestone. Geo's going to connect the Geo ulti. Riptide's going to throw out some auto attacks and finish off Lodestone. A nice kill for Hellborn. But Riptide is going to get punched by Deadwood. Bensington misses the stun, but he's in range for auto attacks. And they get the kill onto Riptide. So again, it's just like I mentioned, you know, 1 hero falls on Legion, 2 heroes fall on Hellborn. It's very, you know, it's just not looking, you know, not as, I don't, in recent memory, I don't think a single exchange has gone their way, Hellborn's way.
One, I think, at the bottom when they killed, who was it? I think Aluna?
Oh, yeah.
I don't really, the Deadwood,
Yeah,
it was Deadwood.
maybe.
It was Deadwood, and none of them died, and that's it. But it was really early game, so.
Right, so it's just, you know, So Firebrand is picked up on Bensington.
Benzing? Yeah.
Yeah. We're just really seeing the level of control that Farming U is able to exert once they have the lead like this. Hellborn finds a triple stack in the Legion jungle, triple hard camp. It's going to help out Rhapsody and Geo. They take it out together. But Bensington is saying, okay, triple hard camp for you, triple ancients for me.
He's on 500 UPM right now, so 390 on Lodestone, 370 on Succubus. Even their support got 250. And then the poor Deadwood
Geomancer
150.
is stalked next to Succubus and Deadwood. What's going to happen here?
Hold it right there.
Mesmerize comes out on Bubbles. Dig is going to miss. Rhapsody's... Okay, Rally is in a lot of trouble here. He gets stunned by Bensington and Red Throat and punched by Deadwood, and he's going to fall. Riptide gets ulti by Succubus. Geomancer's coming to cancel. Lands a nice double stun into Aluna and Succubus. Bensington leaps in the back. A nice kelp field's going to catch two, but Lodestone is there and takes out Riptide and Geo. But Deadwood falls to Bubbles in the back. So Hellborn's still getting a little bit. You know, 2 for 3 is better than 1 for 2. I'll say that. And Bubbles almost has a PK, so that's going to be a really nice relief for them. They can make some plays with that.
By the way, Bubbles just juked all of them, so I don't know if you realized that. Was it a 2 for 2, right?
It was a 2 for 3.
Oh.
Looked like Riptide, Geo, and I think Rally died at the very beginning.
Yeah, true. So actually, like compared to their like the GPM differences and the XP differences, and they actually got a 2 for 3. Like this is really good for Team Backdoor Protocol.
Well, I wouldn't say really good. It's looking better, right?
Yeah.
We'll say it's looking up. You know, when you're not to be. I don't mean to be rude, but when you're near rock bottom, you know, anything above that is better. So, okay, Geomancer's going to spot Bensington, and maybe he sees Lodestone as well. Lodestone is smoked by Geomancer. They don't know that Geo's here. Actually, they're going to find him now. Geo's going to stun Bensington. Bensington's going to miss the stun, as did Lodestone, but there's just too many nukes there, and not enough
really
HP
nice
on
dodges,
Geo.
though.
Yeah.
Really nice dodges on that Snark.
Testy is 600 gold from a Geo. It's going to be a very big item for him. Riptide's going to die in the mid lane to Deadwood and Aluna, or no, he's not. He manages to leap away. Oh, but Lodestone is there to finish him off. Rally is trying to make a move on the Lodestone, but he's going to get PK'd on and ultied by Succubus. And Bensington is going to miss the ulti, but he's in range to party. And Rhapsody is just surrounded by this legion of heroes. And the port from looked like Bubbles was canceled.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who would TP into that, so...
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing to be done after that many heroes fall. Geomancer doesn't get stunned by Lodestone, but Bubbles taking some heat, gets soul trapped by Lodestone. He's gonna have to try and shell surf Alpha. Nice Song of the Sea, and Kelpfield is gonna do some damage, but there's no follow-up for him. Geomancer's gonna desperately try to dig in. It's just not gonna work out for him.
Oh my god!
Yeah, lots of Ancients action here at the Ancients. Aluna's gonna fall. So, is Rally gonna die? Rhapsody is very, very low. Yes, Rally is gonna die, as does Rhapsody. Vincent jumps in on Riptide. Geomancer comes in with a stun, but where's the damage? He ultis Deadwood, and Lodestone finishes him off. Or actually, that was Deadwood.
CC vote coming up.
Yeah, CC, it's just, yeah.
GG, well played for Team Farming U 1-0 against Team Backdoor Protocol. Game number 1, or sorry, round number 1. That was, what do you think of that game, of that round? Sorry, keep.
You know, it just piled up on them. You know, exchange after exchange after exchange in favor of Farming U, and it just got to the point where, you know, they had the levels, they had the gold, and it's really hard to come back from that point. I'm not even sure. I have to look at the match stats, but did anybody even get their level 2 ulti on Hellborn? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to
Um,
level 11s,
yeah,
but
yeah,
no,
I'm trying to
Riptide
find it.
was level 12, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
But
okay. Bubbles and Riptide did, but
hmm,
you know,
the,
we have heroes that were nearing their level 3 ultis on Legion, both
yeah,
Lodestone and Benzington. So
yeah. Honestly, like the fear of Angry Testy is not playing on their favor. It's really not. Like it's too much. That the focus on Testy is just too much. The fact that he's like, we don't want him to farm or do anything the whole game is just too much because they're forgetting their own team. They're only focusing at the other team and for completely forgetting their own team, completely forgetting their own carry. They're not caring about their carry. They're not caring about their mid laner or anything like that, and they're only caring about shut down Testy of farming, and that's it. And
yeah,
that's
I think they put all of their eggs in that bot lane basket. They really, to me, it looked like they really wanted to win that lane, but you know, Legion just, you got to hand it to them. They had a really strong draft. You know, the tri lane that they set up against Hellborn's tri lane was really able to contest it, and not just contest, but like they overran them. And then both of the solo lanes were heavily in favor of Legion as well. So
yeah.
yeah, it's just it was really difficult for them to deal with. I hope that we see, you know, more success for Backdoor Protocol into the next match. You don't know
I
how
really
much I
hope.
want to go to Game 3.
Yeah, I
So
really hope for them to actually pick a carry and play their own lanes. Like for example, was Zero mid? He wasn't mid last game, but
no, he was
he's
solo
their
top
mid.
on Bubbles.
Yeah, even though he's their mid player, right? But for some reason, he went with a bubble short farm.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not you can't really call it short farm there. It's just, you know,
Yeah,
it's a solo lane.
yeah.
Um, that's just how it is. You know, the tri lane is where the farming heroes go, and then you know you just pick two solos to sit and try and get some, you know, get levels and gold in the other two lanes.
I mean, if they place Riptide, wait a second, Bubbles mid, right? Riley being the suicide laner, Riptide and Rhapsody and Geomancer at top lane, tri lane, so they can guarantee Riptide farm. Things would have definitely went way better for them, like way better. But the fact that they keep this pressure on Testy cannot farm, even though he got a Sir Bensington and Riptide with a cleaver is way faster than Sir Bensington with a cleaver. He would be able to do way more things than that Sir Bensington, but yet they go with just shut down Testy and that's it. I mean, they
It's
didn't
kind
even
of
have a
difficult to.
carry in their tri lane to farm.
Well, it's kind of you know, their idea was that they wanted to find success in that tri lane, get an early portal key on rally, and really be able to put pressure on the map. And I mean, if you go tit for tat, you know, and have Testy free farming and on Benzington and Riptide farming, free farming up in the top lane. I'm not so sure. I mean, yes, Riptide probably kills creeps faster than Benzington, but you have to consider how active Benzington is able to be on the map while just farming.
But the
Right?
thing is,
He functions as a sand ray, so he can join
yeah,
team fights far while comfortably farming, you know, far away from the action. So
yeah, you're right. You got a really good point with that. But as a Riptide with your ulti, you can your team fight as a team fighter with your team. Riptide is better than Sir Bensington simply because of his ulti.
yeah, I agree. I mean, it's I think Hellborn's draft, you know, when you look at the 5v5 situation, absolutely, Hellborn had the superior draft for 5v5s.
Yeah,
But, you know, the laning phase just went so poorly for them
yeah.
that, you know, the gank heavy draft that Legion has, you know, they just had these insta-gib heroes. They have Deadwood, you know, Lodestone. Succubus is going to, you know, trap you if you're alone. You know, Benzington can come in to help anybody, and then Aluna is basically global as well with the red throw. or is global. So
Yeah.
you know they had this really gank heavy team, can pick you off no matter where you're standing if you're alone, and you know it just got to the point where they lost their lanes and they were able to, you know, they just had stronger team fight because they had the levels and gold on their side.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, the goal differences were just insane. Like, with sorry, with the team Backdoor Protocol, they didn't even have anybody on 200 GPM until late game, where Bubbles had like, you tried to relog when Bubbles had about
okay.
250, but that was really late to the game, you know. But yeah, the difference between the goals is just insane. Really, really big differences for sure.
hmm Okay. Try again. Yeah, I'm not sure why I wasn't getting the invite the first time.
Are you getting it now?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, all right.
Apparently, my game just disconnected from
Yeah,
chat server.
it happens. Yeah. So you think they're gonna change their strategy now, rather than just shutting down Testy?
You know, they've gotta do something.
Gotta
You
try
know,
something new, yeah.
I'm not even you know, I'm not even sure how much of it comes down to the draft versus execution, right? You know, they've got to get some sort of, I don't want to say upper hand, but you know they've got to give themselves just potential, even if they're behind at the beginning. So what you say, I mean, it could be their best bet to try and play it safe and get a hard farmer that can contest Testy, and yeah, it's the pressure is on them, you know, and it's not a good spot for them to
Mm.
be in, but we're gonna see what they make of it.
The thing is, it's not always like about competing with Testy or competing with the player that is, let's say, Trumpsta or a really good carry, right?
hmm
So it's not
Oh
the
yeah, I mean,
point.
there's four other players for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but the point is, Riptide was stronger than Sir Bensington as a carry. That's the point. There's some carries that are stronger than the carries, and maybe that carry is 200 GPM more than the other carry, but still the one with the lower GPM would win simply because of his hero being better than the other one.
Yeah, if you're able to draw the game out long enough, I agree with
Yeah.
you.
For example, like let's say put Shadowblade against Sir Bensington, Shadowblade would absolutely annihilate Sir Bensington. So if Shadowblade, even if he had a little bit less GPM, he would still be able to kill that Sir Bensington, and a Kinesis pick, by the way,
Right.
by Snark and not Imba.
Yeah. So yeah, the Oogie was banned in the first first series of
First,
bans
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So they're okay. I kind of agree with this for Backdoor Protocol. They left some great comfort heroes for Hellborn on the board, and then they snatched them up. Electrician's absolutely strong, but Kinesis with an Electrician grip is very good. It's a lot of CC on Kinesis between Static Grip and the ulti. Cthulhu, Lodestone, Magmus, similar idea behind those bans in the first game. So
Really fast picks, by the way.
yeah, they seem to know where they want to go with it. And they're counter picking pretty well. The Hellborn gets Voodoo Gesture, and Meraxis is a great answer to that cask floating around.
I mean, with a Shell Shock and Moraxus, Kinesis, that's uh, that's a pretty strong lane up there if they do that. And I hope that they get a really, really tough carry that will play for them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a thing where you can like pick a carry who got a escape ability or who's really tanky that he cannot die. For example, Shadowblade strength, going strength early game and agility later on the game. So if you
Right.
got a Shadowblade, it's really hard to kill him simply because he's really, really powerful. But now they got Deadwood though, so that can counter him. So they gotta think of a different hero, maybe Scout, maybe Solowit, maybe Nomad, sort of heroes that, or Adrenaline. By the way, we've seen Adrenaline with some players in here, and he showed
Yeah.
that he's a really, really strong hero. So
Yeah. I'm not sure where they're. The Deadwood again just puts a lot of pressure on almost any carry you pick.
yeah,
Um, you know, looking at the draft right now, you see Electrician and you see Voodoo Jester. That already, to me, it just screams for a carry player. Okay, I'm probably going to need a Shrunken Head this game, but then there's Deadwood, and he's countering you through that. So they have a nice mix of disables and damage already on Hellborn. So it's not to say that Kinesis's draft or that Legion's draft is bad at all right now. It's just Hellborn's got their bases covered right now. It looks like.
Yeah. I mean, Deadwood as a player or laner, post haste, Lex, and PK on a Deadwood with a bottle and chalice just for mana. It's unstoppable. With a staff or maybe a souls or demonic, nobody can be in the map. If somebody shows in the map, you will know that Deadwood is coming. If you show your face on the map, know that Deadwood is coming for you. That's the thing about Deadwood. He puts a lot of pressure on the map, just like you said. Like, he's a really, really tough hero. That just really annoying overall towards the map. And by the way, Succubus is banned.
Yeah,
you notice
they get rid of the lane dominance of Succubus. I think it's a wise move. I'm not surprised to see the Swiftblade ban, given that Swiftblade can spin off every single disable that Hellborn has right now. So he would have worked really well against any kind of tri-lane that they set up. But he's out now.
Yeah,
and I agree with it. Rally's a. I mean, I'm not sure how much what the idea behind the Rally ban was. I'm 85% sure that Deadwood is going to Bilbo. I mean, he's been playing it so much for farming you that I think they're just going to keep running it with him in a tri-lane. He's obviously performing well on it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I just don't know, if Dima really plays Rally mid. But yeah, I mean,
Rally's
it's just
being
how they
banned
decide.
right now, but yeah.
Yeah, Rally. Yeah, they banned Rally out, and the Gladiator ban makes sense. The same thing from the first game, and I understand the Moon Queen ban and the Geo ban is makes sense to me as well. Yeah, Mage Bane is on the board.
Yeah,
and this could be an opportunity. Deadwood is great versus Mage Bane, make no mistake.
Yeah,
but this could be an opportunity for them to, have a Mage Bane pick and have the potential to, to split push the game no matter how grim it is. But hopefully they don't find themselves in a position similar to the first game.
Well, they pick Shell Shock.
Yeah. Looks like they want to pick Shell Shock, but that could just be a meme. They're using all their time. They're thinking really hard about it. I like Mage Bane versus Electrician, but you might not be able to pick it here. They might just have, they have two heroes coming out after that. Deadwood's already a good counter to Mage Bane. You don't want to get you don't want the carry pick for Hellborn to counter pick Mage Bane, and you certainly don't want the mid hero to counter him as well, because then he's not having a good time. So they do opt to pick Nymphora, yeah. I wonder how they're gonna do this. Is okay, Apex gets drafted.
So basically, it's gonna be Apex mid, Voodoo Jester and Deadwood, and Angry Testy their carry, short lane or maybe long, and they're gonna be tri-laning all three together, and Electrician being the either short farm solo or long laner solo or suicide.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, we're seeing a comfort hero coming out from
Predator.
Yeah, Predator. They saw some success. Okay, are they gonna switch it to Dark Lady?
I mean, they're both great heroes, so
they're both good, yeah.
No, but Dark Lady with the silence against their heroes, Apex, Deadwood, Voodoo, Electrician, it's good.
It's great.
Yeah, and if you don't know, Dark Lady in a specific attack speed, she can silence Deadwood before he hits her with her ulti, with his ulti. Sorry.
But it's I want to just highlight Electrician strength here. Electrician can actually purge Dark Blades and Charging Strikes
attack speed and silence
from Dark Lady. Not only can he purge it, but he can purge it through Shrunken Head, because
Yeah,
Cleansing Shock is superior magic. So
yeah,
that's something to consider, you know.
yeah, for sure.
Electrician is going to be a great hero for them here, with that in
Positive
mind.
though, with Kinesis, Aluna, Nymphora, and Meraxus, like they can still manage. And if one of them got a Hellflower against Electrician, he's gonna really struggle on stopping that TDO. So we'll see how it goes for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
She's
getting to those.
she's gonna struggle with him early game, but later on it's gonna be good. And a Shadow Blade by Angry Testy.
Yeah, so I'm not, you know, it's a toss up. I'm not really sure how Legion is planning on laning it. You know, if they're going some sort of a Luna Nymph Dark Lady tri lane with Meraxus Kinesis soloing. I'm not sure how that's going to stack up against Deadwood, Voodoo, Shadow. It seems like it could be pretty even. You know, Nymphora is very strong right now, so.
Let's get it
on. Yeah, I'm rooting for the Legion. I'm rooting for Backdoor Protocol. I want Game 3. Let's do this.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And an instant pass. Hey.
Yep. So, not a bad idea. I mean, you know, this is a match point, if you will. So, could be a strategy call, strategy pause.
So, I think that I honestly, if like Team Backdoor Protocol played well, left the Dark Lady to farm, they're gonna have a really good at like late game potentials. But same thing with Team Farming You with Shadow Blade. Thing is, Dark Lady and Shadow Blade. Shadow is stronger than Dark Lady, but Dark Lady farms faster than Shadow Blade. So if they use the perfect timing to fight against Team Farming You, I think they're gonna be able to win this game. And if they play well,
absolutely have the potential to win it. I'm actually not sure if Shadow Blade strictly outclasses Dark Lady. I mean, I know he gets a lot of agility from his ulti and everything, but
Shadow Blade.
I mean, you said it yourself that Dark Lady is definitely going to be out farming.
Yeah, for sure.
Dark Lady, but
Shadow
Dark Blades is a lot of damage. Dark Blade's charging strikes.
Yeah.
She has those two buffs up. She is throwing trains.
But the thing is, if Dark Lady uses her charge and everything, if Shadow W'd her, she's done. That's
true.
Done. So
yeah, Shadow Blade can steal the damage. Not through Shrunken Head though, but I already did mention that Electrician is a strong counterpick to Dark Lady, and there's always the Deadwood issue. You know, I mean, what does Legion have to deal with Shadow Blade once he's got Shrunken Head and, you know, Geos or whichever damage item he decides to go? Shrunken Head absolutely makes sense for him this game. You know, they've got 4 disables between on top of a silence from Dark Lady that Legion has to lock him down, and he can negate all of those with Shrunken Head. So it's going to be, I would imagine it's going to be on his item purchase. He'll probably, I mean, I've seen Testy play Shadow Blade a number of times, and his usual item route is Cleaver, Geos into the next, you know, and it depends on the pacing of the game, where he goes after those 2 items. Sometimes he might go a greedy route and get something like a wing bow after that. But I imagine if they're in a spot to take the game, he'll probably go Shrunken Head after Geos and Cleaver.
And the thing, by the way, is that late game, when Shadow is super farmed and Dark Lady is super farmed, when Dark Lady jumps in Shadow, she won't be able to kill him. And not only that, but they both will be so farmed that they'll be fighting for like 20 seconds straight until one of them dies. So the Shrunken of Dark Lady will go down in that period, and Shadow Blade will be able to get her damage. That's the thing. And if you don't know, Shadow Blade is like, he's stronger than any hero in the game, except for, well, when it comes to 1v1, like full items, carry FV carry. Except for Scout and Chronos, simply because of Chronos ulti and Rewind and Stun and Scout Disarm.
Right.
But yeah, like Shadowblade is not a hero to be messed with his ulti. He's one of the strongest heroes in the game for sure. But TDL in the same time, she's really, really tough. So, and not only that, but Dark Lady is better than Shadowblade in killing more than one target, if that makes like any sense. Because like Dark Lady in team fights with her ulti, with her jump, she can kill Shadowblade team faster than Shadowblade can kill Moraxis, Kinesis, Aluna, and Nymphora. Sort of thing.
Well, you have to keep in mind that actually Legion's team is, I would say, it's considerably squishier than Hellborn's lineup.
For sure, yeah.
You know, Dark Lady's going to have difficulty picking a target, I think, other than Voodoo. But of course, you know, simple purchase of a Void can. Well, yeah, but I would say Void is probably the item that they want to get.
Yeah.
If she starts to take off. But I don't want to do it necessarily, but I gotta give draft advantage to Hellborn, just because of the way that this Dark Lady is kind of hard countered by Deadwood and Electrician at once. But their draft has potential. Legion's draft has potential, and the X factor that I'm seeing here might be the Nymphora. If they can find a spot to where they can start to control the map and use Nymphora to gank successfully, I think they have a really good chance of taking the game. You know, they have, so it's Legion that has the global presence here, so that's their strength. They've got the Aluna Red Throw plus the Nymphora ulti. And Darkness Falls is absolutely the Dark Lady ulti is absolutely a great team fight utility. So, you know, Legion has their own strengths, but it's just up in the air now. You know, it's up to the HoN gods how it's gonna play out. So, but you can see based on this lineup, right? Both teams are going the safe route. Both teams are trying to get their carry farmed. Electrician's going to be up against 3, as is Moraxis. I'm not sure who's going to have the easier time. I think Moraxis might have the easier time to survive against the 3 top because because the shield is such a great utility against both the log throw and the cask.
Yeah, I mean, Electrician with his W is really, really tough, and we've seen Imba before playing Suicide Electrician, so...
Absolutely. It's pretty rare to get it at level 1, though, and actually Aluna is already going to flank Alec. Put some pressure onto him. He's already getting a little low, but he's not going to fall.
Kinesis against a Apex.
Apex mid.
You think he's gonna win this one?
Well, Kinesis has a lot of harass, but you know, Apex is.
Oh yeah, look at Kinesis' items.
Yeah.
He really wants to harass. Yep.
Yeah, but Apex is a durable hero, and you can already see he bought a power supply, so he's gonna try and get something back every time Kinesis gets off a telekinetic lift. But yeah, I mean, you know, the heal from the Burning Ember that Apex has is going to help him out tremendously against Kinesis. Raxus is taking pressure from Deadwood, but Electrician is in a lot of trouble here in the bot lane. Gets deep into the red here. He's going to health pot up. Raxus between Deadwood and Voodoo again. Trying to contest the pull. Find some experience. He gets grasped by Deadwood, and here comes Angry Testy on Shadowblade. Fire out some auto attacks. And yeah, Shadowblade does manage to slow him. Another log throw comes out. It's gonna put pressure on Moraxis. Nice sidestep with the grass.
And
And what is?
Wait a second. Did your game that just stop?
Yeah, this is the server
Hmm.
for sure. I don't know what is going on here.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I can't chat or anything. Yeah, it's the server because the chat server is still up.
Nah.
Okay. This is not what you want to see. What do we do here?
I have no clue, to be honest. Do we just leave the game and make a new one? I mean, we're 2 minutes into the game, so I don't know. It's kind of strange, and I don't know. Okay.
Yeah,
Server grief.
I'll disconnect. I think I can reconnect, can I, as a spectator? Should be
Yep,
able to.
and it's just not putting anything for me. It's like there's no game at all. It's legit, like there's no game. Like what?
Um, let's see.
Welcome to Oh My God Tour 2019.
Yeah.
Okay. We are being griefed right now by Frostburn. No response from server, so I think we're gonna go with a new game right now, guys. Be right back with ya,
That
and
is
that is sad. That is just sad. Alright, so we're gonna go with a new game right now because Frostburn.
yeah, this is I don't know what to say, you know. At least it was fairly early on and no kills had came out yet, so
Yeah, it's fair, you know. If they go with the same lineup, same picks, everything like that, things will be good for sure.
Mhm.
Hopefully this server. I just picked another server. Hopefully this one won't be having the same problems. So. It wasn't a kill at top lane, by the way, wasn't it?
No, Meraxis made a very good play before the server dropped everybody.
It dropped for me, I think, earlier from you because, and for me, he just was in the middle of it, I think. But yeah, for me it was strange. Like you couldn't really
He
tell what's gonna happen.
Yeah, he had a good sidestep. Testy on Shadowblade had backed off, and so he was only getting pursued by Deadwood. I don't think Deadwood had another log throw up. He had just used it,
Mm.
and you know, a nice redirect on Merax's pathing allowed him to dodge the Rotten Grasp. So I think he was going to survive with, you know, maybe 50 HP or so.
All pick. Voodoo Jester.
So,
Meraxus. Kinesis.
yeah,
Blade.
we'll see what kind of
Electrician.
what this does. I don't know.
Dark Lady. Nymphora. Deadwood. Aluna.
I have another skin now. We win.
Will you serve or will you die?
Yeah,
Shout out to HoN server.
it's just such a bummer.
Let's
I'm about
get
to
it
watch it
on.
happen on stream, I think. In a moment here. But okay. Reset. Game 3. Kappa. Okay. Looks like everything is going to be as it was. Watching the reaction. Okay. I'm gonna focus on the game. Okay.
I'm reading chat right now, and it's because
Yeah.
there's 6-minute delays. So.
By the way, did you happen to remember which server,
Yeah.
which EU server
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game was
yeah,
on?
yeah, and
you
I
didn't pick
changed
that
it.
one again, right?
Changed it,
Okay.
yeah. Changed it, don't worry. Team Frostburn. Yeah, that chat's so cool. Anyways, going on with the game, it's gonna just be the same for the first 2 minutes, so yeah.
All right. Attrition gets a nice little creep block here. And it's going to be countered by Dark Lady. All right. Well, I'm going to say focus on the mid lane here. See how Kinesis tries to handle Apex. Unless one of these side lanes looks like somebody's going to fall. And you can see it actually that you know, Kinesis got Apex down to about a quarter HP, and then Apex just retreats from the wave and says, "Okay, I'll heal to full really quick."
Yeah, Apex, yeah, he's definitely a super powerful skill.
Meraxis is getting flanked and surrounded, but a nice tree cut. He'll make it out just fine. Ooh, I like the axe pull.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, so he's going to be able to disrupt this lane control. He's going to aggro the archer.
Really well played.
Yeah, so... But
They
the
still
creep
have
wave
one
up-
archer.
yeah, it's still
bad.
even, but he might be able to score creep kills. Oh, Deadwood snags it. It was a nice attempt, but a great response from Baby Muffin to aggro the neutral camp away from the creep wave. Pay attention to the mid lane. Electrician is smoked behind Kinesis. Kinesis low HP. This looks pretty grim for Kinesis. He's gonna fall.
Very first time.
He
So
did not.
Our Electrician.
He did not do this move last game because he didn't really know that the Luna and Nymphora are gonna pressure him this much. So that remake
Yeah.
really went to their side so far, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, all things were pretty equal, right? And Meraxis, an arcane shield that Cask and Electrician is looking to pounce on Meraxis as well. So Electrician abandons the bottom lane for the moment, and look at Aluna and Nymphora. Nymphora's rotating top. Luna's trying to set something up on Apex, but he's just a little too tanky. Spots her. Electrician behind Apex again.
I think it's gonna be they're gonna really play it smart this time. I believe that they're all gonna play it smart right now, rather than just having what they did like last game. So we'll see how it goes for them.
I mean, Dark Lady's going to have absolute free farm. She's going to lose lane control here, it looks like. But maybe that's what she wants. Electrician seems to already notice it, but Kinesis taking pressure from Apex. Apex not going to score a kill on Kinesis. But yeah, I think Electrician had his eye on the bot lane very acutely and was just waiting for Dark Lady to lose lane control. And he's already back down here when it looks like that's about to happen. And he's going to be hard to push out of the lane now. He's got boots from the Bloodlust kill.
Oh, he's still on level 1, so he's gonna struggle a lot here.
Well,
Level 2
so
now.
is Nymphora. He's level 2 now, yeah.
Yeah.
And Dark Lady is getting lane control back, so that's good news. That Electrician's going to have to get closer to get XP, but he is going to counter ward. Score some extra gold there.
Oh, he's gonna get some few XP here if he stays here. And does he have a TP? Yes, he does. So if he stays there, he's gonna be a little bit fine now. Maybe he gets level 3 as well. So Nymphora can't really do much to him right now. Not alone.
Oh, Luna is coming too.
He
But
does
Electrician
realize
sees
that.
it. Electrician is just going to be able to outrun them. You know, he's got the shield, he's got the speed. They're not going to be able to bring him down, just shove him out of lane for a little bit.
Riders, so he's really planning on ganking right now.
Yeah, I agree with it, you know, just trying to make it hard for farming, or for Backdoor Protocol to, you know, pin down his location. So he's already, you can see him already heading back to mid. He is going to get spotted by a ward, but he already knows it's there. He counters it.
Sustainer coming by Shadowblade, by the way.
Sustainer, yeah, so he's going Naked Cleaver. And Dark Lady, so you can already see Dark Lady goes Ghost Marchers. Probably because she wanted to maybe score a kill on Electrician, but, you know, that means Shadowblade is in a position to get a much earlier Cleaver.
Yeah, for sure, and I don't think it matters because in the end Shadowblade would need some help to farm in the jungle anyways, so I think it's gonna end up being the same or maybe even Dark Lady having more farms, so we'll see how it goes for them. It depends on his team really, if they help him early on with farming. If they don't, then Shadowblade is gonna really struggle because Cleaver alone won't be able to give him the farm that he needs, so or even stand to the creeps.
Electrician is going on Merax's top.
Nice blocks going on by Electrician, really nice blocks. And Apex coming on that Meraxis is going down really quickly right now. The burn is going on Meraxis. Meraxis does end up going down by that Apex ulti. Aluna coming into that Voodoo Jester. Voodoo Jester does end up going down, and Dark Lady TP. That is not a good TP there.
Yeah, you know, she wanted to be active with her Ghost Marchers, I suppose, but you know, she abandons free farm in the bot lane. Nymphora. She's going to pick up a few creep kills in the mid lane on her way back bot, but... And who knows, maybe they'll even be able to score a kill on Apex. You know, Dark Lady is very capable of killing. Watch out for Nymphora here in the bot lane.
She's being grasped by Deadwood, and she's definitely going down right now, so... Some few ganks here and there, 3-1. Nothing so special happening so far.
Just farming you, getting a little lead here at the start of the game, and we saw where that ended up last time. So we don't. If you're Backdoor Protocol, you want to try and cut that momentum off for sure very soon.
I mean, Dark Lady is still, like, toe-to-toe with Shadowblade, so 400 GPM, 400 GPM. So it's not.
Kinesis is getting gone on by Apex and Deadwood.
Yeah, Apex does get his W off, and they do end up killing him. I mean, they really need to be careful
Electrician
right now.
also. Electrician's gonna fall to Dark Lady. So the Ghost Marchers do pay off, and she's got gold for Manitube. She's gonna finish Sustainer.
Meanwhile,
Shadowblade.
Shadowblade just got his hammer, so.
So he's only
Some
600
planning on
away.
Moraxis going on, and a really nice grasp by Deadwood. Voodoo Jester does end up, cursing that Moraxis, but they do activate his W. Moraxis is going on, and Voodoo Jester gets silenced by Kinesis. Aluna with the power throw to get him? No, Kinesis does end up getting him with his W in the end, so.
That was great. Yeah, I'm liking the way that Backdoor Protocol is playing this right now. You know, they're using, you know, the Moraxis as bait. It's happened twice now. You know, where they just get, they're really responsive with those ports. So if they can keep that kind of play up, they're definitely going to stay in the series.
An Electrician going on mid with them smoke, so we'll see how it goes for them right now.
Yeah, Kinesis needs to be careful.
Is he pulling the creeps too? Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure what if he was trying to farm with them or what, but it seemed like he was aware that, you know,
Electrician.
danger was imminent.
Yeah.
They are going to see Aluna spot the ward in the mid lane. Aluna's actually going to get hit by a
Initiation
leg.
going on by Electrician to Aluna, Voodoo Jester with an invisibility, and Apex coming in. He does get his spells on that Aluna. Will he be able to out and kill her? No, that is not in range. Moraxis coming in with a spear of axes, misses both of them unfortunately. Going into Electrician, that uses W really nicely against that Electrician. Moraxis is getting down really quickly right now by that curse. He's gonna die, so he ends up just going in because he knows that he's gonna go down there, and he just ends up being fine, so.
Yeah, not quite enough mana for Matrax there. His ulti.
Yeah.
Give him the toughness to live through that probably. But meanwhile, with the absence of any pressure in the top lane, Shadowblade is going to finish his cleaver and walks right into the jungle and starts slapping creeps.
Yeah. And he'll be able to farm here, but Dark Lady would still have more farm than this Shadowblade right now, I believe. Simply because of how slow he is right now. Well, until he gets his team boots or just boots in general. But we'll see how it
Yeah,
goes
and
for
Dark
them.
Lady actually does have more stacks in the jungle, so if she can get the cleaver,
She'll cover really faster than him,
yeah, she'll get ahead of him. She's already still ahead of him. Shadowblade is breaching the gap, but yeah, if Dark Lady gets her cleaver within the next few minutes and then cleans up those stacks really quickly, she'll absolutely be ahead of Shadowblade again. But you can see how Farming You is playing it now, right? Now that Shadowblade has moved into the jungle and is using
becoming the farmer.
Yeah, Deadwood is making progress towards a PK, but he better watch out because there are 3 heroes from Backdoor Protocol looking to hunt him.
Voodoo Jester, I think, coming with a really nice ward right now. We get some really nice ward by Voodoo.
Yeah, this Hellborn actually, or Legion actually already has a counter ward down there.
Smoke Kinesis looking for Shadowblade, by the way, but is he gonna be able to catch him? Not quite.
And the hunting party meant an absence from the mid lane. Moraxis is getting surrounded now.
Oh my god, what a dodge by Luck!
Yeah, Hunter's become the hunted here. And they are going to catch Shadowblade, though. A very important kill coming out from Aluna and Kinesis on Shadowblade. So that was great. And Moraxis even survives.
Apex
Aluna is, yeah.
She's definitely going to go down with that haze. Oh no, deja vu, but won't be able to pay it off. Moraxis is, Kinesis is being stunned by Imba right here, and he's definitely going down with all of Moraxis. He's getting stunned by that Apex. Is he gonna be able to TP? No, he won't be able to TP. Deadwood coming in with the Willowmaker and does get him down. Really well played by Farming You.
Yeah, Farming You really got payback.
Some initiation going on by Electrician on Dark Lady and Emphora, and Electrician is really struggling right now, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, farming you got payback for the kill on Shadowblade. It was still a great kill on Shadowblade, but
Look at
I
the
think Backdoor
GPM
Protocol just made
differences.
a small error going back in for that Aluna. I think they should have
Hmm.
just. I mean, I don't think they knew that they were getting surrounded, but they probably could have just
Apex
cut their
going on
losses.
Dark Lady right now. He's doing a lot of damage on her. Does he have his jump or not? Is she gonna be going down? Healed by Nymphora, but not quite in range for Dark Lady. Apex is still going with that Nymphora. Nymphora is burning. Is she gonna go down? Yes, she's going down. Apex does put his soul trap on that Aluna. Aluna is going down really quickly right now, so Deja Vu though coming from Aluna. Is she gonna be able to survive that? Ghost Smartest by Apex trying to get that Aluna. Is he gonna be able to get some mana? Yes,
Oh,
he
he
does
sold
get the soul trap. But
two
no,
soul.
the Blights, is she gonna go down? Yes, she's actually going down. Hat trick. Well, not quite, but 3 kills in a
Yeah.
row for Apex.
Yeah. So Apex is having a great game here.
Spell Thunder.
Yeah, finishes a Spell Sunder. That's going to be wonderful.
He's gonna
For,
really hurt them now, for sure. And that kill on Dark Lady just got Shadowblade back into the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Dark Lady's still a little ahead, and she's got more stacks to farm than Shadowblade right now.
Yeah,
There's
and
a triple
she's
ancient
back.
waiting for Shadowblade, near the Hellborn Kongor, but Dark Lady is also about to farm one here in her jungle. But Nymphora is, in the bot lane. Electrician is here. Might get flanked by Mirax's. TP's come in. Nymphora with the chain stun. Apex with the nice ulti. Gonna buy Electrician some space, but Miraxis is out for blood right now. Electrician just barely living. Last Auto-Talk finishes him off, and Apex gonna get finished off by Dark Lady.
Really
So
good
here we
kills
have
right
it.
now. Yeah, there you go.
And
So
Dark Lady is starting to come online really quickly here,
yeah, they
as
really need
predicted,
to.
as we all know.
Yeah, they really need to shut her down, otherwise it's not gonna look good for Shadowblade. As we talked in the beginning, like Dark Lady is just way faster than Shadowblade, so
Oh yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, Dark Lady is, maybe outside of Magebane or Moon Queen, she's probably the fastest farming carry.
Abyssal Skull, by the way, which means that now her team fighting potentials are even higher.
Yeah,
So.
it's good. Yeah, it's a quick armor boost from Abyssal. It's going to help her against Deadwood for sure, and just lifesteal in general is going to give her longevity in team fights. So I like it, and I'm not sure what she's going to go next. I imagine she'll pick up a Firebrand. She's almost got it. Maybe a Firebrand into like a BKB. I think that's what I would put my money on. But I'm always capable of being wrong.
Yeah, and the Deadwood gets off a PK right now.
Yeah. So that's good news for them, right? That even though Shadowblade is farming a little bit slower than Dark Lady right now, they have a very important PK pickup on Deadwood because of the free top lane. So map presence, as far as the amount of pressure, okay, but Nymphora is going to get grasped by Deadwood and no chance to survive. But I was just going to say, as far as the amount of pressure that the team can place on the enemy carry or just on the enemy team in general, farming you has the advantage for sure. But if Dark Lady can continue farming and dodge long enough, she could come out on top.
I mean, so far, looking at Deadwood, Voodoo, Apex, and Electrician, none of them got any armor, any sort of armor. So physical-wise, Dark Lady will just annihilate them, that's for sure. But at the same time, Deadwood can deal a lot of damage on her with Apex and Voodoo and Shadowblade and Electrician with their spells. So with the Shrunken, we'll see how it goes for her, and a Firebrand on Dark Lady, so he's gonna be farming even faster now.
And Shadowblade is keeping up, he's only 30 GPM behind, so
yeah,
they as a team, Hellborn has a decisive gold lead here. So they're really putting all their trust in Dark Lady, and maybe it's well placed because she gets a quick kill on Deadwood. She uses the cover of darkness to you know, just secure her team's exit there. But they are going to find
That Voyager's down, yeah.
nice. So two kills on the supports.
Oh, look at
And
this!
this is
The
wonderful for them,
triple
yes.
stack.
Find the triple. So excellent. So now Dark Lady is getting close to 600.
If you look at both of the teams' GPM, they're all so equal, except for Apex and Kinesis. That's the only difference between Team Farming Me on
Yeah.
Backdoor Protocol and Dark Lady being only 40 GPM above Shadowblade. So, but in all, they have a little bit of gold advantage and experience advantage. So.
Look at this top lane. Electrician's trying to bait for Apex very hard, but yeah, I mean Apex absolutely is kind of functioning as a semi carry here. You know, he's got a great start in the game, and you know he's going to be able to put a lot of pressure with you know, just his hero in general, how strong it is. I'm not sure. I mean, what do you think about this Gnome's Wisdom purchase on Kinesis? This was the first item he bought.
Oh, you're right.
You know, I'm not sure
mean,
how I feel about it. I mean, it makes sense. There's a lot of magic damage on
Yeah.
the enemy team and everything, but
And not only that, AoE magic damage as well, especially from Apex.
mass ports coming
A really
out.
nice grasp on that Kinesis from Deadwood. Deadwood does get a Willmaker on Kinesis. Kinesis ends up going down. Some initiation going out on Meraxis. Meraxis does end up getting his W, but not quite though. He does end up going down with the Voodoo Jester. Aluna and Infora gets that Voodoo Jester down, and 11 for 14 so far. Dark Lady though, that's the core hero, and Deadwood and Electrician are going, or the whole team actually is going
Yeah, they
for Dark
might end
Lady.
up-
Dark Lady.
They might find her. They don't know that she's there per se, but they're looking for her. They're going to run into Aluna, and Aluna's going to tank the gank for Dark Lady, I hope. Cover of Darkness is going to, you know, help Aluna out a little bit, but
Dark
that was
Lady
a-
got
that was a-
grasped there, by the way.
yeah, but it was a
But they
very
went
nice
for
timed cover.
Yeah.
They didn't know it happened. They didn't know it connected. So.
Too bad, but yeah. Luna does end up going down, and Dark Lady is still up in the game with the GPM, and
Yeah.
she should be getting this tower, honestly. I mean, they already
Yeah, I
TP'd,
mean,
and not a whole lot of spells. Like Apex doesn't have his ulti or anything like that, and that was a tower, but I guess it is what it is. So
Yeah, I mean, it still might go down, might get in deny range and everything. Meraxis, mid lane. Now it's Electrician that's taking heat. Electrician's gonna fall here for sure.
yeah.
That's nice.
I mean, I don't know why they charge up more access with his W, but that happened.
Yeah. You know, they just, it's just what happened. Apex has a PK now, so he's able to, really do some damage in a team fight. And the Geosbane has been finished on Shadowblade for a while. It's gonna help him out a lot. Being able to dispel, you know, with that, he's able to dispel Dark Lady Silence, Meraxis, more axes charges, slows from Kinesis. It's just a great item for him to have. A nice mix of defensive and offensive, and he picks up a Whispering Helm too. So he's, I mean, 30 armor is great versus Dark Lady. Dark Lady isn't going to be threatening him very much. It's going to be the magic damage that is his concern. And he's actually in position to do Kongor at some point too. He's level 17 right now, and that's what he's going to do exactly. So a Kong kill is going to come out for Hellborn, which is going to give, you know, it's going to be great. It's going to extend their lead a little bit further. If the game goes ultra late game, it's certainly going to matter, and Infora needs to be careful here.
Yep,
Good
she's
job.
definitely going down. Yeah. Is that a Dark Lady TP? Okay, no, she stopped it. Thank God.
Yeah, so Dark Lady is going Shrunken. She went Frostburn first, which I don't necessarily disagree with. Watch out, Aluna. She gets grasped. Finished off by Apex, it looks like. Yeah, clean
Yeah.
kill. behind this
So
tier
far,
2 top tower.
just some ganks and securing the tower, to be honest, nothing else. Look at the Apex stealing. Are you looking at the top lane with Apex?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just one of the things that Apex, one of the things that Apex can do, you know? With the burning ember. Meanwhile, Shadowblade is going to finish off Kongor. He's 1,800 gold saved up. I wonder what he's going to get next. Dark Lady is 500 gold from Shrunken Head, so they're about to find her. Apex gets picked off by Kinesis and Miraxis. Very nice. Kinesis is going to fall for it, but...
Oh my god, the TP though! Yeah, Nymphora is dead as well, so...
Yeah, and Nymphora is taking a lot of heat. She gets purged by Electrician. I think there's no exit for her here. But I think, you know, it's a worthy trade. You know, Apex is very strong right now. You know, so... And a Void Talisman picked up on Kinesis, so... A nice purchase for him, surviving Deadwood and Shadowblade. We're going to be putting pressure on the top tier tower, tier 2 tower. Looks like they might even get it. It's definitely going into deny range. Looks like they don't mind that.
Oh, is he gonna deny? Yes, well, that's good for them.
What do you think this plate mail on Apex is going to turn into? My guess is, oh, Frostfield. Miraxis taking heat. Got the Matrax up. Going to be able to PK out and TP.
Nice. Really well played by Miraxis.
Yeah, PK is just such a great item on Miraxis.
Yeah.
Because of how well it synergizes with the ulti.
They're going on Kongor right now.
Yep. Yeah, they need to get a return kill on Kongor. Dark Lady's taking damage from it. Nymphora heal is very strong. Shadowblade right-clicked to Shrunken Head, by the way, so he's ready to fight.
Oh yeah.
So we'll he's actually ahead of GPM of WP as well, so... You know, it'll come down to how the team fight plays out to see which carry is...
Communication going on Miraxis. Miraxis doesn't use W, but... He's gonna be able to do a whole lot of Shadowblade coming in with the insane damage that he got as a Shadowblade. Kinesis is going down really quickly, but there's a spawn with a Void. Is he gonna be able to... No, he will be able to TP out and just 1 for nothing.
Yeah. They'll take the mid-tier 2 tower probably. With no contests from Backdoor Protocol. Try to trade, get top, return. Going uphill. So the clock is ticking on them needing to port back here. Nymphora and Aluna both port back. The creep wave looks like it's strong enough in the top lane that they are going to get the tower if Hellborn doesn't come to defend it. But they're happy to lose that tower, it seems, if they can take the tier 2 bottom tower. But Miraxis is alive, so... And they're actually porting behind them. Watch this. Nymphora is porting with...
Yep, Miraxis.
A
Deadwood going on, and that's important. Nymphora does go down really quickly. Some initiation going on by Dark Lady on an illusion. Shadowblade, unfortunately, they're going out in Apex with the Miraxis and Dark Lady. Dark Lady is getting down really quickly by Voodoo. And Shadowblade, though, really bad targeting. Shadowblade going into Miraxis. Miraxis ends up living, though. Electrician diving that Aluna, and Aluna does end up going down. And is Electrician going down? Yes, he will go down by the Legion, though, so... genocide on Team Backdoor Protocol. The buyback coming in from Kinesis with Snark, which is Miraxis, so 2 versus 3.
Yeah, Dark Lady holding onto his buyback.
Moraxis going in with a really nice stun on that Shadowblade. Nice silence by Kinesis. The Shadowblade, a lift from Kinesis. He does get his W on him as well. Is he going to be able to go down? Shadowblade getting down really quickly right now. He does end up going down. A really nice buyback by Dark Lady. Not really, actually. She's not going to be able to do a whole lot, unfortunately. So she didn't even get the kill on Voodoo.
Yeah, but you know, she's up and Shadowblade is dead. Shadowblade doesn't have a buyback. He just bought Dancing Blade, so she's going to be able to farm it out for a little bit. And those, you can safely say, you know, the buyback on Dark Lady may or may not.
With an ulti, he's going to go on that Dark Lady with the Willowmaker. He gets it down. Dark Lady with a Shrunken though. Imba Boy coming in, and they're not going to get anything out of this, unfortunately. Deadwood is trying to get a grasp here. No, he's not, so just some back and forth now.
You can see just how much pressure Deadwood was able to put on Dark Lady. I mean,
yeah.
Dark Lady gets half HP'd by level 14 Deadwood, despite being 21.
Some initiation going on by Moraxis on the Apex. Dark Lady is slowing the Apex down, but the W is really fast. 2 grasp by by Kinesis and Deadwood. Is that Electrician gonna go down? Yes, he's definitely gonna go down right now. Moraxis is seeing that Deadwood. Is he gonna be able to initiate on him though? No, they're not, and they do get the Fierce Gear Tower.
Yeah, they're taking great advantage of Shadowblade being dead for a long time. But even with that, riding out that long death timer, he's still over 700 DPM.
Yeah, for sure, you're right. And 670 by TDL, and she's gonna be 700 here, I believe. Almost.
Yeah, she'll get it if she farms the next creep wave plus the Ancients maybe, but Shadowblade is up and about to farm again, and you can bet that Dancing Blade's gonna turn into a Wingbow very soon, and then Dark Lady's gonna have a lot of trouble dealing with Shadowblade.
I mean, she got 2,800 right now, and the Savage Mace is for 4,800, so she just needs 2k gold right now.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, and we'll see what she decides to go. She sees the Dancing Blade. I'm sure she'll think long and hard about purchasing Savage Mace. I think what she would ideally like to go in this spot would be Harkon's Blade, because then she would start to shred. Because not a single hero on Hellborn has
armor protection, except for Electrician with that.
Yeah, it has magic armor. Yeah.
I mean, it's only 2 magic armor, so it's not that much. She's gonna be able to just destroy all of them, really, in the end.
And Angry Testy, you know, he's got 40 armor.
There's the Snake, so that's a Wingbow.
Yeah, Apex is, you know, has invested gold into armor, so yeah, but he'll probably have to buy
Electrician with the invisibility going on Moraxis with a really nice view right now. Shadowblade with the Illusions absolutely annihilating that Moraxis. Electrician does end up going down by Dark Lady, but Dark Lady is just getting absolutely destroyed by Shadowblade. Shadowblade going in on a Luna hat-trick coming in for Testy, and they're underestimating Shadowblade right now. This is what I'm saying so far. Like, the targeting of Dark Lady is a little bit odd. Or just me. But he's really not... They're not aiming Shadowblade, which is not a good idea.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of rough for them. You know, Shadowblade had the luxury of not going in that fight before... until Dark Lady went in. And then Deadwood also was waiting around to find Dark Lady, so... just able to...
By excellent blast by Deadwood, getting both Kinesis and Nymphora. Kinesis with the Void, though. Is he gonna be able to die? The illusions of Shadowblade are just... they're actually stronger than that Kinesis himself, so yeah. Not really surprised there. The middle racks do end up going down, and it's not looking good for Backdoor Protocol right now. And Ultras... No, it's not Ultras, Armor of the Mad Mage come in for Apex.
Is it an Armor of the Mad Mage?
Yeah, Armor of the Mad Mage.
Okay.
Did I say mad of like, did I mix it up or something? Yeah.
I wasn't sure, he doesn't have it yet. I didn't see if...
yeah, it is Armor of the Mad Mage.
And...
oh, really nice deny by Luna. But doubt that this will be able to stop Shadowblade from getting racks. Nice 2 power throws, red ones by Luna, so... They're gonna go back here, actually. It's a good idea.
Yeah, it's not a bad decision. Shadowblade is 800 GPM now.
Yeah.
Dark Lady is going to have a difficult time catching up unless they near genocide them. And the fact that Shadowblade has the wing bow, he's just so much stronger than her. He just bought a Axe the Malphite. That 1K is going to turn into the completed symbol, I imagine. Another Kongor kill is going to come out. And okay, we'll see how this turns out. But Dark Lady goes all in with the shroud. Yeah.
I mean,
not sure.
if they don't show it to them, this is actually gonna benefit Dark Lady. None of them got dust, so.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
rewards.
well, actually
on electrician. Never mind.
Yeah. But if somehow she can navigate and skirt around electrician, and somehow go on the back line, I mean, the fight could come out in their favor. But you know, Shadowblade is just such an insane frontliner right now, having symbol and wingbow. He's tanky enough that the magic damage combos from Legion are not going to be able to.
Look at top lane. Apex is gonna really melt down here, and armor of mage coming out from Apex. He does have a haste, but Kinesis doesn't respond with a really nice ulti. Deadwood to the Widowmaker, and Dark Lady is just not going down at all. Dark Lady with a really nice charge, silencing both Deadwood and Woodjester. The Electrician with a really nice stun on Dark Lady. She does end up going down, and then really nice stun by Nymphora, but shrunken on Shadowblade. Shadowblade going on Nymphora. She's going down really quickly. Kinesis, he doesn't have a void, so you gotta be a little bit careful from that Shadowblade, though. Woodjester does end up going down. Morax is gonna be initiating, though. No 3-4-3 so far, and some insane fights going on. No, 3-4-3. No, wait, did Nymphora actually live? Oh, she did. Oh yeah, it's a 2-for-3 for Backdoor Protocol. Nice.
Yeah, but they got the very important Dark Lady. It was some great.
True.
There's some good plays coming out from Backdoor Protocol, and it looks like they're not going to be able to stop this Kongor. They have vision of it, but you know, how do they contest these two heroes together? It was just such a great, you know, grip on Electrician.
Oh yeah, the grip on Electrician was
stopping Dark Lady in her tracks as soon as the BKB fell off.
was
Shadowblade
really,
was right
really well
there
played.
to just pound
Really
auto
well
attacks.
played, yeah. I love how he just like he stood behind the tree and just grabbing him there. Hey, I'm just gonna send you if you don't mind.
Yeah.
It's really nice there.
So, Elborn has a 2 Kongor advantage now.
Yeah, they do have the structure damage, so they gotta really be careful. If Shadowblade gets to the tower, that's it. Tower's down. If he gets to the racks, there you go. He got the racks there. I mean, just I don't know if you were looking at top lane, but Shadowblade sent his illusion, and they got like the tower to like he removed about like 30% of the tower HP. So just illusions without the damage structure. So yeah.
Yeah.
If Shadowblade gets his hand on the tower, that's it. Look at Shadowblade getting 400 damage. If he W's Dark Lady with her charge, he's gonna have 800 damage and a DD 650, and Deadwood with a Willowmaker going on for us. She does go down in the end, and look at Shadowblade on the racks right now. He gets a lot of misses though. Moraxes initiates on Shadowblade. Shadowblade Geometer's main. Dark Lady is being focused with a really nice stun. She goes on Apex. Apex is going down really quickly. Shadowblade coming in with a lot of damage on that Dark Lady. Dark Lady ends up going back though. Morax is living with barely any HP. Shadowblade planning to dive. No, he won't be diving. Not today, unfortunately. They do get both of the racks. GG calls coming on from both of the teams. Are they going to be conceding? And GG, well played for Team Farming You, 2-0. Taking the tournament, taking that victory, and what do you say, man?
Well, you know, congratulations to the champions. HoN, oh my god, season 1 is concluded. Farming You is the champions. And,
yep.
You know, I enjoyed the second game. It was a good game.
More
you know,
than
the first game. Yeah, the first game was really
one-sided.
Yeah, it was one-sided. So I'm happy that Backdoor Protocol seemed to get a piece of the second game, but in the end, just Testy is very good at farming, and Shadowblade got the gold advantage, maintained it, and ended up shining as the stronger carry. But I really think that Electrician and Deadwood, you can't ignore their presence. They did a lot to give Dark Lady a very hard time. I mean, you saw it in that very last fight in the top jungle, right, when Electrician just was there to CC her. And yeah, so it could just, I don't know, could just be a case of superior draft, but Team Farming U executed their strategy extremely well at all points in those two games. So you got to hand it to them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so looking at the game, back to it right now, they did basically what we said, and notice how when they did that and they didn't just put all of their focus on just Angry Testy, they ended up with way better results. Like, they even had a really big chance of winning this game.
Yeah, I agree. The second strategy worked out, far better than their first strategy.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, it's just the first game was really just a case of outdrafted. I think that's the long and short of it. I think the first game, they had the Succubus, they had the Lodestone. They're winning 2 out of the 3 lanes, right? Even if the tri lane fell for Farming U, right? They're still winning their solo lanes, and solo heroes have huge impact once they get their ultis and come make their presence felt by the underleveled heroes in the tri lane. So, but they, Backdoor Protocol also lost the tri lane, so it was a disaster for them.
Yeah, and like going back to the game, let's recap. Right, was Dark Lady and Shadowblade both were really farmed, but it came to one fight where everything went to the other team, which is Farming U, and I think it was the first fight where Dark Lady focused, I believe, at Electrician and not at Shadowblade. That's the thing there. The targeting of Dark Lady didn't seem that well, and every time the fight was started by Team Farming U, so Dark Lady had to jump in on one of the Team Farming U players, right? But Dark Lady would jump in, Shadowblade would still be outside, not in the fight, and he would start off with Dark Lady, but Dark Lady would have to defend her team, starting off with an Electrician. But then when Dark Lady jumps in, Shadowblade gets a huge advantage on Dark Lady and just destroys her and simply kills her, and the rest of the team doesn't have to do anything because Shadowblade can kill all of them, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, you also have to keep in mind the kind of the advantage of that Farming U had with 2 PKs, right? Legion Backdoor Protocol only had the PK on Meraxis, right? So they either had one shot at initiation with Meraxis basically, or one shot at a strong counter initiation. Whereas, Hellborn had the opportunity for either strong initiation from Apex or Deadwood, followed up by counter initiation once Backdoor Protocol commits. So that's a huge factor as well. I think Farming U was just, they had the luxury because of the presence of their 2 PKs versus 1 of being able to select much better fights.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was, I mean, it feels like just Team Farming U being more experienced with these sort of lineups when both of them goes with a carry, and yeah, they played it very well, to be honest. But at the same time, I feel like Dark Lady actually changed her focus. I think this game would have taken a way different turn.
Yeah, I mean, I do know for a fact there was a fight specifically where she got 2 to 3 autos during her Shrunken Head duration on a Shadowblade illusion, right? So we're talking about, very important window for her to be able to get auto attacks in, and a decent amount of them are wasted, right?
Yeah.
So I think that happened at the bot tier 2 tower, which just again wasn't ideal initiation. I remember that fight. Nymphora ported Meraxes behind the Hellborn team, and then Nymphora gets spotted and she just gets instantly killed by I can't remember who it was. They may have even used a Deadwood punch on her to bring her down quick. But then Meraxes, he maybe got one stun on maybe Apex or Electrician. I'm not sure. It just wasn't an ideal setup for them at all. And Dark Lady just had to charge in past 2 Shadowblade illusions, plus maybe Apex was frontlining it. I can't remember, but yeah, it's just Farming You just had such a strong carry and just better team fight presence. The 2 PKs, I can't stress enough, like that is such a huge factor for why they were able to get so many favorable fights.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I even I talked to you about this, like Shadowblade being one of the strongest heroes when it comes to 1v1. So when Dark Lady had the advantage, she should have went on him, but I guess not. So,
And actually, I'm sorry again. I actually was wrong. Hellborn had 3 PKs. Okay, so yeah, it's even more so.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. Shadowblade is a strong 1v1er. Dark Lady is too, but it's just I don't know. I don't know what to say. Dark Lady, her big advantage is her farm speed. And she just wasn't able to take advantage of that long enough.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, well, should we wrap it up, or do you have anything to say?
I think I've said pretty much just the things that jump out at me. Analyzing these 2 games really quickly, I don't really have too much to add, except that I want to thank you for hosting the tournament, and and I hope our spectators also appreciate it. We're almost up to getting close to 500 here.
Really?
And yeah, I'm looking at it on Twitch, and
I only have the chat.
I hope
so.
that they can. Yeah, I hope they can rally support behind your cause to bring some competitive spirit back into HoN, and really not just you push for a season 2, but I'd like our community to push for a season 2 as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for your kind words, John, and thank you guys for watching today. I hope you really enjoyed this stream, and I hope you enjoyed the tournament. We still don't know about loser bracket, and I felt like, well, all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all your kind comments, and yeah, thank you guys for coming in this tournament, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this tournament and the finals especially, and tune in for next tournaments hopefully very soon maybe, and with actual prize pools. That if so, something to say for you guys right now, if there will be another tournament, most likely the second tournament will have a prize pool. Third one, even higher chance. The more we go with this tournament, the more it's gonna be a bigger chance of having a prize pool, and the more we go, the more that prize pool is gonna go higher and higher. So hopefully this gets good, and hopefully we get the advertisement and stuff like that to get a really good prize pool for this tournament. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's stream, and I hope you enjoyed this tournament. I am Eyes of Paradise, joined here by John, aka Easy Full Clan, and I was joined by Ramati and Alphonse, aka Verva. Ramati is just Ramati and HoN, so thank you guys for streaming with me and casting with me, and thank all of you guys for watching. And I almost forgot, Hello was casting with us as well, so thank you guys, all of you, and thank you for the support. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video in HoN Oh My God, or in the next stream. Good night.
Good night. Thanks.